Hey, 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 good people. What's going on? How's everybody doing? It's your boy, Coach Dino. And I just want to I'm going to hit you with a longer piece today. I know the last video I gave you on the recap was, just that. It was the recap and so forth. Last night, during the Focus 2024 Empowerment Series, we talked about mental conditioning. And we went quite a few places. We had some amazing exercises. If you missed it, there is no recording. We're not doing any replays for this series, and you missed it. And I get it, right? Because so many people thought that they were going to have to talk about themselves and their lives and dig down deep into that, right? And to a degree, who wants to go there on a Zoom? Well, unbeknownst to you, that we have a very strong, informative exercise that you go through, and we leave you with the ingredients to be able to delve into it at your own pace, in your own time, to be able to make some of the changes in which you need to make based on the challenges that you're facing. And so it definitely wasn't that I'm getting ready to go deep into my past and I'm going to be crying and all of that. We laughed. I'm gonna do some clips, but we laughed. We talked about growing up with family. We talked about the education and social learning days and going to school, and we talked about adulting, and then we talked about COVID. And a great exercise. It was amazing. We also got into emotional seasons, emotional storms, emotional cycles, and then emotional habits. And that was informative too, because it has a lot to do with you trying to break um, emotional habits. The habits that you run into that are hard to break, chances are 95% of the time, they're emotional habits. And in order for you to break those habits, you have to kind of go into the emotions attached to the habit, right? And we also, kind of let go of some deeper information that I didn't even plan on going through. But what we surmised was that everyone, to whatever degree, has a level of emotional intelligence. You're either dealing with your emotions or your emotions are dealing with you. It's one or the other. It's happening. There's nothing you can do about it. But again, we went through some exercises that, brought you to awareness. And it's amazing when something can happen and you're able to stop, between stimulus and response, there's a space, right? And you're able to stop and say, whoa, what am I thinking? How do I feel? And then what is going to be my response if there's going to be a response? Sometimes, well, actually, to not respond is a response. And it's a great practice to be able to um, deal with people, places, and things. And the last thing I want to say, because it was amazing, and we're going to get into social media. And I'm going to tell you right now, I got some stuff for social media. I have some stuff for breadcrumb learning. I have stuff to differentiate between, who's capping and who's not, who's, doing this, who's living a lifestyle, pretending, sending a representative, creating an avatar. It's like there's so many different things that social media supports without you having any control as far as your conditioning is concerned. And conditioning is like super, super key. But one of the things that I've learned in this process, right, is that people who talk about other people, places, and things, when it comes to the work, they're either very reserved inside of that, like inside of doing the work, or they're not doing the work at all. They haven't touched the work. They're so busy convincing you of what they know. And that's what people do. We reach to what we know. And so whenever people are sharing what we know without using personal examples, I know for a fact they haven't touched the work yet. Not for a fact, in most cases, right? Because each story should be able to say, well, when as I went through or whatever, what I learned. And then for those who are, having these conversations, the ones that are like, I'm still doing the work. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. Those are the individuals that are learning to talk about themselves, right? Learning to communicate with other people about themselves. One of the things, right, is crazy too, because inside of our relationship course, it's really based around authenticity, right? Authenticity. I believe what I'm saying, and I'm telling you the truth. You can even feel and know that I'm telling you the truth. And when people are being authentic. You can feel it. It's part of, your intuition, your discernment. And so when individuals are sharing based on what they're going through, based on what they're learning while they're inside of it, that is an amazing feat that you're going to need. It's a skill that you're going to need for the rest of your life. Because when you talk about having a relationship, right? Women say men don't share their feelings. Men have been quiet, and we are quiet. However, there's nothing like having a brother or a man who can communicate his feelings. There's nothing like it. Who really understands who he is, what he has, what he doesn't, and can confidently communicate his feelings and not feel a way about it. He can be vulnerable. And then there's something to say about a woman who can do the same thing. And as they both sit and they listen deeply and they listen slowly and they listen intently without the intention to respond, but with the intention to understand. And then lastly, individuals who have made it through some things. When an individual has made it through some things, they can really highlight some of the greatest points and learning keys, through their story, through their testimony, through what they're sharing. And then if something else is brought out based on just regular feedback, they're open to the feedback because they want to get better. If you ever notice, right, when you're learning, when you get back to learning, you get really, really excited about it. When you're doing something, do different and new that you're about to, learn some things, you get really, really excited about it. And that's a part of your body. That's a part of the brain. We are designed and built to grow. And if you're not growing, then, as Joe Dispenza says, you're left remaining predictable through memories of the past. The full quote is, if you're not refining yourself through a vision for your future, then you're left remaining predictable through memories of your past or using memories of your past. You're always talking about back then. You're always talking about something else. You're not talking about you right now. You don't understand you right now. You can't really bring you right now into fruition. And we want to help you get past that. So the next session is going to be social media. And that's going to be a real short session because we just want to give out some information in that. We don't want to get too deep. I want to show you some things that I've collected off of social media that have the ability to influence your conditioning. And so when you see these things that you're aware of it, right? As the pastor said in one of the viral videos, he said, you got to guard your focus. You have to guard your focus. And when you're at a level in life, at a place in life, at a maturity level in life, where you're pursuing some very real, tangible things, you need to guard your focus. When you're really, really about, getting your money together, getting your finances together, getting yourself together, you really have to guard your focus. And it isn't difficult. It isn't something that's going to, take you years and years and years in order to be able to get. It's going to take you years in order to master, but it's not going to take you years and years to get started. And, you can use this as an opportunity to get started. And so we're going to go through, finish off the mental conditioning piece with technology and go through that. And then we're going to start laying the foundation for relationships because, and that's what everyone is really waiting for, believe it or not. Everybody's waiting on a relationship piece because I get it, right? Relationships, to love, to share, to belong, that's a human basic need. You can't get away from it. right? No man or woman is an island. Everyone needs someone. And we get that, right? And inside of relationships, we're going to talk about the relationships that you have with your children. You know, we're going to talk about the relationships that you have. You know, there's a lot of single parent households, and we get that, right? We're not talking about how we got here. We're talking about how do we get out of here, right? And sometimes there's an issue with how you're raising your son. How you're raising your son. And again, we're not judging anyone. The judgment-free zone. Trust you, me. You do what do what you want, do how you want. But the most important thing is that you get something new, you get something different. And you're getting it not just from, I consider myself to be an expert in the field, period. You know what I mean? If I didn't consider myself an expert in the field, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. I wouldn't be able to do what I do and get the results that I get. And so as an expert in the field, I'm giving you some very soft information because we don't have an agreement between the two of us to whereas I am now considered your coach. I am now considered, you are now considered up under my tutelage, and now we're working through some stuff. Once we get to that point, it's a whole different thing. You have access to other coaches, other amazing people that have the same information that I have, and sometimes we disseminate it in different ways. We understand it to different degrees. However, it's all good. It's all good information. And so I'm hoping that you're going to take the time out to hit the next one, which is going to be next Thursday, 7 p.m. We're actually going from 7 to 9 p.m. We've been trying to cut off at 8:30. That hasn't been working because the conversations are good, the conversations are deep, and they're the type of conversations that you need to be around. You need to be having these conversations. You need to be around individuals that you can have these conversations with, to ask these questions around individuals. Because sometimes we ask questions of people who have no idea, they are not proven, they have not been successful. You know, why would you ask somebody who is struggling inside of their finances about finances? Why would you ask someone with no children how to, might they have some great information? Absolutely. But their level of experience is missing. The level of experience is missing. How can you tell the difference? You'll know when you're emotionally intelligent. With that, I'll see you guys next Thursday. Looking forward to it again. We're not going to bombard you with emails. We've been doing it nice and easy, nice and slow. The size is growing and it's beautiful. We're getting new people every week. And I'm looking forward to getting down to the nitty gritty. With that, I am out. Coach Dino, signing off. I'll see you next week. Peace.